hello, and good day to everyone. That is you're tuning in here at the Sphere Rocket Podcast Network. Once again, I'm going to be the host for today's episode. My name is Dwayne, and right now we have yet another exciting episode featuring one of our very high esteemed VAs. And I guess without further ado, let herself introduce herself. Our VA guest for today, we got Desiree, sorry, I forgot it again how you pronounce it, but how do you pronounce her name?
Yeah, it's Desiree, and
Desiree,
it's so nice to
welcome.
be here.
Yeah, welcome to the podcast. It's a pleasure to have you as well. How are you feeling?
I'm feeling a little nervous and excited today because it's my
Okay.
first time to be interviewed in podcast. But
Well,
yeah,
it's the perfect emotion for a podcast. Nervous and excited. And yeah, pretty much that makes a good formula for you sharing more things. Maybe too much things than you should, but it's all good. It's more interesting things is better. But before we get into the topic, my first question for you is what do you think is the best snack, midnight snack for you to eat while working?
I would be a little biased here because I love chocolate. So I would say I eat like lots of chocolate and drink a
Mm-hmm.
hot chocolate drink. It's
Uh-huh.
giving me this energy to keep me going
Oh,
in
uh-huh.
overall my graveyard shift. How about you?
For me, I would say before it was chips, but it was not too healthy. So I'm trying my best to just, you know, try to stay, just drinking
Healthy.
water. Yeah, trying to be more healthy. Because I guess that is one of the things we have working at the graveyard shift. We're not
Yeah,
as, I guess, physically healthy because, we're sleeping in the hours, we're working at the hours
we
where
have
we're
different time
supposed,
slots.
and we're basically sleeping at the time where we're supposed to be active out in the day, exercising and doing stuff. So the least we can do to make up for that kind of unhealthy working schedule is to eat healthy. But yeah, before it was
That is
chips,
so
fast
true.
food, burgers. It's
Oh,
pretty much the unhealthier the better. And yeah, I need to fix that. So yeah, I guess quick fix chocolates. I see. What's your favorite chocolate?
oh my God. I don't have any specific, but I usually just drink the one, like the local. I mean, I eat like probably Toblerone or like Cloud9, and then
Mhm.
in the chocolate drink, I just make like my own chocolate drink using a tablea. I'm not sure if
Oh,
I think you've
really?
heard that one.
I thought you were
Yeah.
gonna say Milo or Ovaltine
No.
or I don't know. So you make your
I mean,
own tablea.
yeah,
Oh yeah. If you
it's
guys
so
don't know,
good.
tablea is, I guess, a concentrate of hard block of pure.
Hmm.
It's a local thing. I'm sure other countries will have that, just a different term. But yeah, pure cacao, and you just mix it. That's actually interesting, and I guess more
Yeah,
healthy than going for the commercially sweetened chocolate. Might actually,
definitely, and much cheaper actually.
yeah. Okay, might actually try that next time. But as much as I wanted to talk more about food and drinks and midnight snacks, the podcast episode is not going to be about food. It's going to be about the life of becoming a VA. So I guess, Desiree, tell us more about how you got before you became a VA. What was your life like?
I work in graveyard shift in customer service, BPO still, and it was actually really fun because it enhanced my communication skills. But afterwards, I just think that I want to upskill. I want to explore other jobs and just like use my other skills. So I transitioned as a virtual assistant.
How long did you work in the BPO industry, if I may ask?
In customer service, I worked for almost 2 years, and then afterwards, I before I became or I got a job here in Spear. I was a VA for almost 2 years too. So
Really? And I'm quite curious because VA work is not really open knowledge. Everybody knows that you
mm,
can work from home. So what gave you the
mhm.
idea that of becoming a VA?
Oh, one of my colleagues invited me to apply here because she knows that I love doing this, I love doing that. In my first VA work, I was a digital marketing assistant, so she knows that I love to do editing stuff. She knows that I love to do somewhere in social media stuff, so she recommended me to like, hey, you know what? You could like also explore other jobs that matches more with your skill, and that's why I got into the VA world.
And I'm assuming it's really different what you were doing as a customer service representative, and now you're doing social media management. Is that correct?
Yeah, for my client now, yes. It's actually so fun, like, doing a social media stuff because in today's world, we scroll a lot, we spend a lot of time in social media, right? And it's so good to like use those time of scrolling through social media and apply it with your work, which will make your work more fun. You can produce more quality work and, of course, help other people in their business.
Yeah, I mean it's good because normally people waste their time scrolling on social
Oh,
media.
yes, that's
Now
so
you get paid
true.
to do it, so I guess that's a really fun job.
Yeah. I mean, why
So
not make the most out of it, right? Like,
exactly, you get paid to do something that you love, and compared to handling complaints and customer service, like getting all their rage, just say you unfortunately, it's just definitely an upgrade in terms of
it,
experience. As
definitely.
yeah. So now I'm quite curious. How were you able to get your first job as a social media manager? Manager because your work experience does not directly relate to that.
So in my first work as VA, we were trained in terms of digital marketing, and when I resigned there, I am a person who is passionate in terms of learning. So I use the free resources like in YouTube or searching in like the Google to find more information about my work on how to do this and how to do that. And I also enroll myself on paid courses so that I can like upskill myself because it's not just about like doing the work but also trying to or being sure that you're doing it right, like you're doing it with passion too, and you're like learning and just constantly learning and growing for the job. And I think like that's what makes it so important, learning.
Yeah, you really need to have that initiative. That you
Yeah,
really love what you do to be inspired to do better, and
of
I guess
course. I
you need
mean,
to.
do you also like do online course or
I just
you have
like listening to podcasts when I first got started, and
oh
then I got invited. I was doing some freelance work, hosting things, and next thing I know, I'm a podcast host now here at Sphere Rocket, and pretty much it's been the most amazing work that I got so far because I get to
wow.
talk to people for a living, and yeah,
I-
pretty much I'm all about that. So
That is
yeah,
so fun.
yeah, I guess same with you. Now you get to scroll social media and you get paid for it, as we talked about. And
Definitely.
yeah, and I'm curious about the change of work environment because before I believe you're working from office, and now you're working from
Uh,
home as a
yeah,
VA.
so
So how much of a change and a different was it?
it wasn't really much a change because when I applied in a call center, it was during pandemic, before pandemic or during pandemic times, and I've got a chance to like work on the on-site for a few months. Then we transitioned into work from home, and at those time, we can like go to on site if we want, and we can just like work from home. That was our setup, which is really flexible, and it wasn't really much of a change, but yeah, it wasn't really much of a change.
I see. So I guess
i'm just i'm,
yeah, pretty
I'm just fortunate enough.
that's good because traveling is definitely not my cup of tea either, especially doing public transportation in the Philippines.
Oh,
Not the
so
best
traffic.
experience if you live, especially in the most populated cities. It's not only the traffic; you will also have a hard time looking for the right ride, and you need to
Yeah,
spend a little bit more using Grab and taxi, pretty much, which is a lot more expensive. So it saves you both
yeah,
time, money, and of course convenience for the better. And I would like to ask
that
you.
is so
So I
true.
guess yeah, it's not much of a difference as you mentioned, but if you can tell us what's the top three pros of like working from home compared to working in an office, what would it be?
Wow, my God. I would say the very first one is traveling because when I started working as a virtual assistant, there are actually some times that I go travel anywhere in the Philippines, and it's so fun to like do your stuff while maintaining having a social life, and that's really like it's a good perk. And not all people can like do that, which is super fun. And then the second one is also sorry, what was the question again?
Top three things that you enjoy working from home compared to
Oh
working in
yeah,
the
working
office.
from home. I can eat anytime. When I except if you have like meetings. So when you're like craving for something, you can just like eat anytime compared to work and compared to like working on office because you can only eat on break. You need to wait for break or lunch break or snack break in order for you to like eat something. So I think that's like the second thing. And then the third one is it saves so much time. Like what you have said, waiting to for jeepneys, or it would cost so much money to like book a grab or look for a taxi. And also it's not just all about the transportation as well, but in your time, like you will spend so much time picking which clothes to wear, or like just making sure that you look presentable before going on the office, which is very time consuming. So I think like working from home here, it's so great, it's so fun, and I think this is like hopefully the future because it's so productive for us and for our clients.
I guess it's the same for me. When I first graduated and got my first job, pretty much traveling every day from home
Mhm.
to work. Okay, I'm like, okay, this is going to be my life in the next 20 and 30 years.
Oh.
It's not so exciting. You always need to travel, but you know,
Mhm.
I got introduced to working from home thanks to pandemic. Actually, pandemic has been
Yeah,
unfortunate for a lot of people, but it opened the doors and the eyes of people and
of
businesses
course.
that working
Mhm.
from home can actually work. It's
Yeah.
not. People are saying, "Oh, how can you be productive if you're not in the office? In the office working, you're at home." Well, look at us now. Years ago, a lot of businesses have been converting. Some of the businesses are converting to hybrid setups, and some went full work from home to save money on instead of renting an office. They just got people working from home. But of course, not all jobs are applicable for working at home. But as much as possible, it's good to have this kind of option to work from home.
It's definitely a
And
win-win situation for us and for
that
them.
being yes, it's a blessing to have this kind of profession, but it's really challenging right now because the market
Mhm.
that we have, it's not so much. There's not a lot of companies offering work from home jobs.
Mhm.
So in your case, how were you able to land your first VA work? Because for sure, if there's not much openings available for working at home, working from home as a VA, the competition of getting one should be really high. So how were you able to get your VA job at first?
Actually, I don't know. In my first VA job, it was I don't know. I just did my best and like tried to ace everything because it was my first time in the VA world. And then I did like lots of research. That's why I aced it. But here in Spear, actually, I applied here since,
April,
and
May,
then
June, July, 4 months. Yeah.
yeah. So it's funny because yeah, that's very true. Like competition is really high, so you really need to like do your best. So it's actually also quite a blessing when I just landed my first job here in Spear, first client I mean here in Spear because it helped me a lot. It taught me a lot to be like have a realization, like in terms of your portfolio, in terms of your resume, how could I optimize it? What could I do better in order for me to like catch the attention of the client? So what I did is I tried to like look back and see what am I doing wrong? What can I do better? And then I just try to keep learning and learning. And now I'm so happy that I've landed my first client here in Spear, which is so fun. And I'm so
Yes.
grateful.
Congratulations as a social media manager too, which is again something that you love to do. And curious as well on the task, what does a social media manager do as a work? Do you just scroll around on TikTok, Facebook, Instagram? What do you actually do as a social media manager?
Yeah, so basically that's it. In terms of being a social media manager, we actually do that. We scroll a lot in the social media and Facebook and Instagram and TikTok, whatever my client uses the platform. We do lots of research about the trend, about the audio, or basically the challenges, and then we um, try just to like do that on the client's business. We also make contents for them, like incorporate contents in their business, and that will also we think that could be catchy for the audience. And then we try to like optimize their social medias and schedule contents or do any digital marketing strategy in order for them to have more engagement and audience.
Okay, make it sound so much more complicated than I thought. So there's a lot of things going on as a social media manager. It's not like
It is a
scroll
lot.
like, scroll shake. Okay, that's actually yeah a lot more complicated than I thought. So that being said, what do you think was that, let's say, X factor that your
Mm.
client saw in you that made him or her choose you?
Oh, we actually, me and my client talked about this. It was actually because she said that my portfolio is more catchy than the other. Because when you apply to be a social media manager, you will need to have, I mean, it's not really that necessary, but it's really highly recommended to have a portfolio to showcase your skills in terms of editing for pictures, in terms of how you just organize pictures or how you edit videos and how you overall showcase yourself. And I think that is also the portfolio that I try to optimize for like the past few months in order for me to land a client. So it was so amazing, and hopefully for those people who would want to like apply for to be a social media manager, definitely it would be so worth it to invest on the portfolio.
It's all about presenting the portfolio in general because who knows, maybe in your portfolio alone, like like you, this Desiree, you got chosen for your portfolio in the main part of things, so that could be the defining factor to be able to do it. So work on our portfolio and definitely, hopefully, you can get that connection with the client. And of course, before we
Yes.
continue on with the last part of the podcast, let's just hit it off with a short commercial break. So we'll be back after this short break.
Ever dreamed of swapping your hectic office for a comfy home workspace? At Sphere Rocket VA, we make that dream a reality. Say goodbye to rush hours and hello to remote work. Enjoy more time with family, more time for yourself, all while building your career. Interested? Apply now at www.spherejobs.ph.
And we are back at the Sphere Rocket Podcast Network with our guest for today, one of our VAs from Sphere Rocket, Desiree. So, Desiree, hopefully you're still doing fine and hopefully a lot less nervous compared to before.
Yeah, I'm a little less nervous because I feel more comfortable now than earlier talking with
Okay,
you.
good. It's always the first few minutes. It's the first, if you're the first for everything is always the most nervous part of things, but as you go with the flow, you suddenly got in tune in the beat, and yeah, next thing you know, you've been talking for the entire
Oh,
day,
that's
and that's actually how it goes. And yeah, that's how podcasts go off on. So pretty much in this last part or the last segment, it's quite fun, I would say. So it's called the lightning round. So just a fast-paced questions you can answer as not really as quick as you can, but just answer based on what you think should be your answer. So ready or not, I'll be starting off this Desiree. So day off or bonus pay?
bonus pay.
Okay, all about the money, no shame. Me too. Okay, favorite social media platform. Okay, this is a good question for you.
Oh, Instagram for sure.
Why Instagram?
Because I think I find it more as aesthetic than other social
Aesthetic. I
media
know you're gonna say
platforms.
aesthetic. Yeah, the word aesthetic. I guess the posts on Instagram are a lot more classy compared to Facebook,
Yeah.
and not as wild as TikTok, I guess Instagram is the middle ground for social
Ye-
media.
It is.
Okay, next is call or text.
Oh, I would say call.
Okay, for someone
Definitely
who was
call.
shy at the start of the podcast, I did not expect you to say call, and that's good. Okay, go to midnight snack. I guess you kind of answered this, but if you can just choose one,
Oh, I would say chocolates.
more specific, what kind of chocolate?
Can I say like the can I say just Cloud9? Like
Cloud9. Okay,
the
going
small
local.
chocolate
Okay, buy
bars?
Toblerone,
Of
buy
course.
Hershey's. We're gonna go with Cloud9. Okay. Next is coffee or tea.
Oh,
No cacao,
coffee
just
with you.
coffee or tea. Next,
How
dream
about
country
you?
to it's just for you. But yeah, I'm gonna go for coffee because I like to add a lot of sugar
Coffee.
in my coffee. Okay, dream country to visit.
Oh, Spain.
Spain. Oh, see, you're the
Yeah.
first one to say Spain. Yeah. Why Spain though? What's something that you wanted to see in Spain?
I think it's just their structures there in terms of
Hmm.
the buildings is just so cool, and as well as like their culture is not that far from
Yeah, I
ours.
mean, we got
So I would
colonized by
say
them for 300 and
yeah.
for 300 years. So, and next is what is your most or best? Oh, okay, I guess most expensive and best online purchase.
Oh. God, that is so hard, but it's not actually the most expensive, but I would
Hmm.
say books, because I'm like a bookish person. So,
Hmm.
like knowledge is power, and it's like
Okay.
you can
I don't know if
literally
I'm doing
invest
prejudice,
it.
but your glasses say a lot that you like to read books. So I guess I'm not so surprised that you like reading books. And last question, one word for you to describe Sphere Rocket.
Spirit Rocket,
One or two
say
words. Yeah. What's the word again? Smooth.
yeah,
What makes Sphere Rocket smooth for you?
because it's just a process here is so smooth, and I feel like the clients here are well taken care of.
Mm-hmm.
So I would say smooth.
Oh, I guess you're not the first one to say that, this process in Sphere Rocket is also good, including the clients. But you're the first one to say it's smooth, though. But pretty much what's special about Sphere Rocket is we don't only just care for our clients, getting as many clients as we want, but we wanted to get the quality clients that we can pair up with our VAs because we wanted to take care of our VAs as well because we're giving them a job and this job is probably their only way to pay off bills to support their family. And
Mhm.
unfortunately, in the VA world, there's a lot of things happening where clients are not as good. Let's say delayed pays, sometimes not even giving any payments. Some of them will cut off some VAs just like that without any advance notice. So we wanted to make sure that both our clients and our VAs are well taken care of to their right people. So yeah, we definitely screen both VAs, potential VAs and clients. So
Wow.
yeah, that's the one of the amazing things about Sphere Rocket. So Desiree, thank you so much for giving your time for today. And before we end this, maybe you wanted to give a shout out to your client or people you're about to work with or you work with.
Yeah, I just wanted to shout out to Erica. I'm so excited to like have a good relationship, a positive work relationship with you. And I wanted to shout out with my best friend because he invited me to be here. Apply to Sphere, and
Is
I
he
do not
working at Sphere
regret.
Rocket?
Yeah, he works in Sphere
Oh,
Rocket
you
too.
can give a shout out with his name. He's gonna be
Yeah,
watching this.
shout out to Neil. Girl, thank you so much for inviting me here. It's so fun. Like, it's such a blessing to be part of this team. So
Wait, what's the
thank you
name?
so
I'm
much for
gonna
inviting
message
me.
him to watch this. Got it. Is that all, or you have someone else you wanted to shout out?
Oh, yeah, that's all.
Okay, I guess that is our episode for today. Thank you so much once again, Desiree. Sorry, I keep forgetting how to pronounce your name. It's just me because there are several ways to pronounce your name,
It's
Desiree. And
fine.
yeah, but pretty much that's all of our episode for our episode today. Hopefully, everyone that's watching this or about to watch this will learn a thing or two, or maybe a lot about this. And before we end this, what is your one final advice for anyone that's wanting to pursue a career as a VA?
Oh, I would say that just don't give up. It would be hard to land a client. There would be like lots of down phases, of course, rejections, but just don't give up because eventually you will end up having a client, being a VA. You will end up for this job as a VA. So just don't give up.
Yeah, you only fail when you stop trying. So, yeah. Okay, that is once again our episode today. And hopefully, we'll see you again in the next episode of the Sphere Rocket Podcast Network. Goodbye, everyone.